Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, January 30th, 2025. In the United States, there is grieving today. There was a mid-air collision in over the Potomac River at 9 o'clock last night that involved a Black Hawk helicopter and American Eagle Flight 5342, which contained 60 passengers and 4 crew members. There have been reports that there are no survivors of the crash. Now, normally I advise, and in this case, I'm still going to advise that we wait 48 hours before we come to any firm conclusions or accept any possible narrative. But I think there's a chance that there's some whitewashing already going on with data. And I wanted to just mention some anomalies and do a tarot read about what we know so far. So what we know so far is that Black Hawk helicopter took off from the vicinity of the CIA headquarters. It did not take any kind of evasive action and flew straight towards that American Eagle's flight, which had lots of lights on. The thumbnail I used for this video was taken from one of the images right before the crash occurred that the Capitol camera has caught. So I didn't want to do one of the exact impact because that's when lives were lost. But now we're told that that Black Hawk helicopter didn't contain a black box, which is mandatory part of every aircraft that goes up. I think it was either intentionally removed or there's something that can be heard or discerned on that black box that they don't want to have made public. It's got to be one of those two things. Either it was there and they are covering it up or someone removed it. And that leads my personal truth seeker radar to say something's going on more with the helicopter than the plane. It doesn't sound like right now that there were any public figures on the plane, although there were some wonderful people figure skaters and their families and coaches that were returning from a training session. And so there were lots of horrible fatalities that involved with the American Eagles part of the flight, but the helicopter, we're not being told those 3 people's or supposed people's names. Now, here's why I'm a little suspicious. First of all, I do grant you that if the helicopter pilot was wearing night vision goggles for some reason, and I don't know why he would, with so much ambient lighting being out there in that very urban area of the um, Reagan Airport and Washington, D.C. and the Potomac River, that would have blinded them, but why would they have it on? So I kind of set that aside when I heard that was one possibility that someone said, hey, he could have been blinded by the airplane's lights. So I thought, nope, nope, not going to buy that one. They weren't in a rural setting where it would have been wise to have some night vision going on. I think that there is footage out there showing that Black Hawks can be manned, flown without anybody on board at all. And what did this take out of the prime spot in the American news cycle? The Senate confirmation hearings, especially those that involve RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel. I think that's kind of telling. What did this bump? Now, I'm especially thinking about the hearings involving RFK Jr. because he had some interesting data at his fingertips about how much the Big Pharma has supported the politicians the senators that are grilling him to the tune of millions of dollars. And I think that is information Big Pharma would like to have us not be focusing on. What better way than to give the American people a tragedy? Genuine tragedy, but again, possibly manufactured. In other words, a big flappy thing. Then there's also the fact CNN is saying that President Trump started the blame game really fast, but CNN's got some explaining to do. They had an announcement out, and I will take you to someone that's got that information. They were announcing this flight tragedy, this crash, mid-air collision, hours before it actually happened. So was there even a crash? I think there was, but something's going on. Was someone on that helicopter wanting to disappear? Someone so callous and perceived to be so self-important that they would absolutely have no problem with eliminating 64 innocent lives plus possibly two other crew members. Was there nobody on that Black Hawk and it's all a big distraction? Something's going on here. I don't know if we'll get a lot of information from the universe, but we're going to try. First, I'm going to take you over to my channel on the platform X and share with you a couple of things and also just a little other thought I had. I'll share with you and we'll see what the universe wants us to know. One second while I take you over to X, okay? Okay, well, I reposted this from Script Keeper Elect. It's a TikTok video, and in the background, there is CNN footage you can see here that they reported the crash hours before it happened. It's been scrubbed now, but it was captured by here, so we've got it this way. And it reminded me of how there was an announcement on 9/11 about Building 7 before it fell. They already had the announcement going out 30 minutes, I think, before it hit. Kind of reminded me of that. Little suspicious. They have some explaining to do, as I said. Then Elon Musk, it was absolutely deliberate, so he's already posted his opinion on it. And then I hearkened back to a couple of days ago when Donald Trump put out these. This is on his Truth Social media account. This was a combination post. And watch the water. Where did that crash happen? Over and then into the Potomac River. And then there was a couple of things here that also talks about watch the water, watch the water. He puts this out on the 29th, and then on the 30th, we're watching the water, aren't we? Wow. So I think that was all I had for you on that. So, Black Hawk takes off from CIA headquarters, or very, very near to it. We're told there's no black box, so there'll be no recording of what happened in there. They didn't respond to any of the air traffic control directions that they were receiving, and it's also a little funny that they've quickly gotten those out. Hmm. So, like I said, I'm looking more at the helicopter as thinking where the shenanigans are going on here, and I'm justifiably upset that once again, innocent human life was deemed expendable and absolutely able to be used to further a purpose or narrative. Let's see if we can get some information from the cards of what that purpose or controlling a narrative might be. Okay, I'm wondering. I think someone that had some big time credentials has arranged to conveniently disappear, or Big Pharma put out the word to those that they owed them a lot, said, hey, we want a distraction. We want to be bumped off the top of the news cycle. Let's see what it is. Okay, or something else. I'm not going to narrow it to those two things. We're going to let the cards inform us. I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me work with the cards and we'll find out what can be shared with us at this point post tragedy, but still within the 48 hours that we usually are told to wait till we know more. Okay, we would like insights and information about the tragedy that happened today or the reported tragedy that happened today involving American Eagle Flight 5342 with, we are told, 60 passengers, 4 crew member, and a Black Hawk helicopter that we are told contained 3 people. We want this information to be clear and free of any veiling or obscuring efforts that have been made to keep those of us that have intuitive gifts from learning truth. So I want to know what the universe would have told me 1 minute prior to any veiling or obscuring information efforts on this information. Okay, our first card. We've got the 7 of Cups. More cups with the 2 of Cups. Temperance showing up. Queen of Wands. 10 of Wands. 5 of Pentacles. and 5 of Cups. So lots of cups and some wands going on here. So let's see what we have so far. I think to get a little more information, we ought to just plan on right now pulling a few more cards from the top here before we say we've gotten the insights that the universe wants us to have. First of all, right away, they're telling us that this, the facts are being obscured and there's lots, it's a very deliberate attempt to have lots of theories being thrown out there and even some conflicting reporting. Okay, the someone agreed to have this happen. And with the cups and Big Pharma having so much to do with things you ingest and what have you, I'm seeing a Big Pharma connection here. Plus, we have the symbol here that's quite similar to the American Medical Association symbol going on here. So Big Pharma is actually behind this in some way, shape, or form. Okay, Temperance card. Talking about teamwork, what an unholy alliance that would be to say, hey, we want to get out of the news cycle. We want to be lower in the headlines, make it happen. Okay. The Queen of Wands is kind of patting us on the back here for asking these questions, looking at this and not accepting the whatever the predominant narrative is going to be. And maybe asking a question in such a way that we can find out really where this originated from. And again, right now we're being told it's Big Pharma and is because they want a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. Let's go to the near future. We got the Ten of Wands. That's a card typically of endings and hard work kind of results happening here. And interesting to see it showing up here. Again, I feel like it's kind of desperate measures on the part of the protagonists that I have stated here. Because on either side of it are insights and information card. Both of them are fives, which talk about temporary situations. Okay. And yeah, I'm seeing that someone also is using this also, not just to disappear out of the news cycle, but there's a disappearance that's in process too. So that intuitive nudge I had that, it'd be quite possible. You could put a very, very good body double up, even if it was a clone, and have them be identified by dental or whatever records later on. Something's going on here. Someone on that helicopter was not who or what they said they were. So I think someone disappeared. And there's a lot of sadness going on. As I said, it's a day where there's a tragedy. Even though the shenanigans initiating it, there's genuine loss of good human life that there's sadness about. And there's also some sadness on the part of people that don't accept the official story, that say, yes, I'm sad, but I want to know more. Who did this bump off the news cycle? What's going on? What else is going on? There's a lot of people that have shaken off the programming and asked questions like I'm asking here. And good for us. We need to. Let's get a few more cards and see what else the universe might want us to know. Another 5 with the 5 of Wands. Then we have a 6 of Cups, Queen of Swords, and 9 of Swords. Okay, these are less insightful, less impactful. They are looking into the near future. Let's see what else we're being told about the near future. First of all, again, a temporary situation. There's conflict and fighting going on, and we know what the efforts are here to get themselves out of the news cycle and retain their position, power, and authority. The 6 of Cups, interesting to show here that this is often a card that involves a short-lived reconciliation, and it often talks about brotherly, sisterly love. I don't know how that blends in. I'll just honestly tell you, I don't know how that's blending in with the rest of this, because we don't know who did a disappearing act or what's going on here. If there's some kind of reunion with them being indicated here, I guess if I have some people with black suits knock on my door soon, I guess I'll get an answer for that. Queen of Swords is showing up here again for the further insights, and she is very in current event reads. She's all about objectivity, logical thinking, and results. The 9 of Swords is a card of anxiety. Number 1, it can often be a comforting card when you look at it, the fact that yes, there's things to worry about, but not as much as you might fear. Okay. But I think that this fear-based anxiety is all in the shenanigans gang. And these are some desperate measures they're doing. I think, like I said, someone decided to disappear in a spectacular, and they hoped unquestionable way in that collision. I really do. And I think that it was in conjunction with or connected to the efforts of Big Pharma to go to the bottom of the news feed. So there we have it. So let's recap. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time last night, there was a crash over the Potomac River from American Eagle Flight 5342 and a Black Hawk helicopter that had 3 personnel on board. We're told it was 3 there, and there were 60 civilians and 4 crew members on the American Eagle flight. The helicopter flew into the plane, not vice versa, and was disregarding any contacts by air traffic control to have them alter their course and avoid the collision. There's anomalies abounding about this entire incident. Number one, CNN had a reporting of the incident that was published 5 to 6 hours before it actually happened. That's been captured. I have a link to a TikTok video that shows that in the background and discusses that. Then we're told the black box that was on the Black Hawk helicopter wasn't, which tells us it was either removed deliberately or they've decided there's sensitive information that can't be disclosed from that. Then we have the fact that there are Senate confirmation hearings going on. The notable ones today are RFK Jr. for Health and Human Services Secretary position, for Kash Patel, and for Tulsi Gabbard. And especially with the RFK Jr. one yesterday, there was some really big truth bombs going out about Big Pharma and health situations. And so I thought, what's going on here? Well, we asked the universe and we asked to have the information shared with us as it would have been a minute before any veiling or obscuring information was done, because I have no doubt that 3-letter agencies and Big Pharma utilize esoteric means just as much as they do traditional ones. So what we got here for our, they're trying to, it's a smoke screen. They're putting up all sorts of information, trying to confuse the issue, and Big Pharma wants to get out of the top of the news line. We have the American Medical Association symbol almost showing here. So many of the items that are pushed on the medical patients involve ingestibles or consumables. So we got a Big Pharma connection right there going on. Then the temperance card showed up for the recent past, kind of a teamwork, and I think that teamwork is more of an unholy alliance with a 3-letter agency and Big Pharma. I'm going on record saying that now. Queen of Wands told us, good job, logical thinking, look at information. You can acknowledge a tragedy and feel bad about it and still say, but I want to know more. What was behind this? What was the motivation? Who benefited? Because anytime there's a tragedy, unfortunately, that makes the headlines, especially when it overtakes the headlines, somebody benefited. The future cards just talked about, when we looked at the future, again, sadness. They were hoping this would be enough to achieve their ends. I'm saying again that what I got from the cards and what I'll stand by here is there is a 3-letter agency and Big Pharma connection to this issue, and it was done to drop Big Pharma and some of the news and information that's getting dropped about them out of the top of the news line. And since that flight originated out of CIA headquarters, I think someone called in some markers, and that's why this tragedy occurred. And we still are going to need an explanation on how CNN reported on this before it happened. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish you everything bright.